Hey kids, it's JJ. Got a quick one for you today. I had one of my subscribers ask about my modifications to my AT9, which is what I use for my transmitter. I'm a RadioLink fan. I love RadioLink. I have their receivers in 26, 28 machines. And I've had it for a year or two. Absolutely love it. Have had no problems with it whatsoever. I think it's the best bang for the buck you can get. I am one of the few people not on the Tyrannus train. Tyrannus makes a great machine, don't get me wrong. And I would get the whatever that new one is, except I don't want to replace 28 transmitters or receivers. But I really, really like the RadioLink. I think it's just an awesome machine. It does absolutely everything that I need to do and have no complaints. So I'm going to get down to the mods that I have done. One thing that I did not like was the original antenna. There's two reasons for that. One, when I had it in my my backpack, the antenna, I wish I had a picture of it, but it's just one of those little rubber ducky jobbies that just flips up and down. I couldn't fit it in my bag for shit, so I modified it and put one of these dudes on there. Now, let me, hang on, I got a spare. It's basically this guy, and if I can find where I ordered it from, because I have a spare here. Let's see. Just Wi-Fi cable. I can't remember what the DPI is on this, decibel level is on this, but good antenna, works great. Basically, I took the unit apart, drilled a hole in the back, and it has a connector, your typical connector, like one of these on the back. And it's too early in the morning, can't remember what the fuck those are called, but anyhow. And I shortened the cable length a little bit. I unsoldered it from here and shortened it so I wouldn't lose any dBi out of it. And it just pops onto the board. It's very, very, very straightforward. Put some thread lock on here. Now I screw this guy on. Bam. Never, ever have I lost reception from my transmitter. Ever. Okay? Have I done a range test? No, I haven't. But I have gone very, very freaking far with drones and quads, never had an issue using any type of RadioLink receiver. That part's important. One of the other mods that I did, when I took the old antenna out, this is just goofy. Stupid shit, you don't have to do this. You can just take some hot glue and put it over the top here. But where the antenna originally came out, I stuck a high-powered LED and wired it into a switch. Check that shit out. Bam! So, it comes in handy if you need to look into one of your quads out in the field or it's dark or something. Got a little flashlight built in. What the hell? I used the hole. So I just took a high-powered LED, stuck hot glue in there basically, and flipped the switch. That's it. Pretty simple. The other modification that I did. These come with a battery case, if you will. And it's basically a little carriage that holds 4 AA's, I think. Was it 4? Doesn't matter. I think it was. I yanked that out like the first 5 minutes I had it. And then I basically, I think I hot glued it in. But I took a JST connector, like that, and hot wired it into an XT60, which this is actually heat shrink underneath there, but I just put the electrical tape on. And then I took an old zippy 2200. You can put any 3S in here that'll fit. You can put a shorty, put a long one, whatever. And I use the zippy because it's a little poofy. Back when I tried doing planes, and I loved planes a whole lot. That's what this was for. Fits in there perfect. This does have polarity protection on it. See, it says anti-reverse design. Plug that pig into there. Bam, like that. Put that in there. And everything fits nice and neat. Sometimes. Early in the morning. There we go. Bam. Okay. Don't power it up without the antenna on there. Bad things could happen. It's a transmitter. Remember that. Receivers, you can boot up without a receiver, but transmitters you always want to load onto the unit. Other than that, I think I did replace this switch because I broke it. But that was my fault. That's about it. Things been pretty beat up. I did update the firmware on there. There's plenty of videos on how to do that, and I use the software to back it up. I have 28 models, and I only use 2 channels. Or I'm sorry, 2 model channels in my radio. I use one for quads, and I use one for drones. That's it. That's what I love about radios like this. You can just keep binding, keep binding, keep binding, keep binding, and every single quad I have, which is a lot of quads, are all on channel 1 or model 1, and all of my drones, like 4 of them or 5, can't remember, are on model 2. Bam, because I set all my quads up the same. So that's very cool. One of the cool things about RadioLink, they have very cheap, good receivers. Okay, I just printed this out because everything I own is pretty much buried in a quad. So here's a tip, a really, really good tip, okay? If you use any RadioLink receiver that is heat shrinked, meaning not in a hard case, swap out the antenna. These antennas suck. And they have the basic little connector on there. You can just cut the heat shrink, pop off the heat shrink, and go buy a shit ton of these. I'll put a link in the description. Hang on a tick. Bam. And stick one of these dipoles on there. They're like 50 cents a ton. I buy them by the 10-piece bag or whatever for a couple of bucks off Banggood, or you can probably get them anywhere. And I have never, ever lost reception, ever, due to my radio pooping out. That's a combination of using this and maybe the mod. But even before I did this mod, I did not do this mod for range. I did it so I could take the antenna off. I'm sure it has better range because of it, but I've never tested it. I have flying these things beyond line of sight. These cheesy little, this is like a $10, that's like a $10, that's like a $12. It's the size of your thumb. It's a teeny, teeny little thing. And these I actually both of them, I desolder the pins and I hardwire them, the hot, cold, and S-bus, and then I wire them into the board. And every single one of these, first thing I do, I take off that antenna, stick one of these on there, then I hot glue, put a little bit of hot glue over it just so it doesn't pop off, just in case. And I have never had a reception problem. I fly these little tiny guys stupid far. If you leave that antenna on there, it's going to be like a park flyer. You're not going to get very far. I'll put a link in the description of what I do with these, where I get these. They're great. I go through them all the time. This is what they come with. Just one of these little piece of wire jobbies, and the range sucks. I remember the first time I tried, I can't remember if it was one of these or this one, whatever. Yeah, it didn't get far. I was still in line of sight and it dropped out of the sky. I swapped out antennas, bam, never had a problem. If you use one of the RadioLink, I can't remember the names, R9DS 60,000s, whatever they are. If they're in a plastic case, you don't need to replace the antenna. I fly those on my drones, and they go stupid far. I have no issues at all. And there's also a new model of this one out that has 2 antennas. I have not tried that one yet, but even still, I would still probably replace the antenna, just because. But that's it. Not a whole lot to it. Love these things. If I dropped and shattered this tomorrow, I would be buying another one. It's just, this is not the AT9S, this is just the AT9. I'll probably get the AT9S, or the AT10. But I've actually heard the reviews on these are better than the AT10, which is kind of strange. So anyway, hope that helps you guys out. If you have any questions at all about RadioLink, I've done about everything there is to do, from backing them up to a computer, to updating the firmware, to wiping them out. If you update the firmware, the nice thing about these is it does not wipe out your settings. Bam, very cool. So anyhow, just a little FYI for the 3 people in the world that use RadioLinks. Be cool, guys. Keep shining side up. Take care.